guys, welcome back to the channel. We are finally here. I know I procrastinated and put this off and put it off and put it off because I just didn't want to do it. I'm really ready to just move on to new things, but I've promised it, I've started it, I gotta finish it. So today we are going to be finishing the first half of the last book in the Harry Potter series for this Read and React, which is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. So what they decided to do with this book is they decided to cut it in half and make it into 2 films, which is what I think that 4 through 7 should have been, but my opinions don't matter. If my opinion doesn't matter, then why are we even here? Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, part one, I always used to like this film. The first half of this book, whenever they're just like going around and like moving from place to place and all of the slow pacing, it never bothered me. I always seem to fly through it really quickly. I like slow-paced movies sometimes. Sometimes I actually really enjoy that, you know, they've been caught up in this whole world, but it's time to like take it slow and like let everything breathe and come to actual grips with what exactly is happening around them. I think this one, if I'm going off of favorites, this has always been my 3rd favorite film out of the entire series. I want to say that they did a really good job with the adaptation. We'll find out when we get there, but yeah, without further ado, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Oh, don't like that. Oh, Jesus, I can hear it through my headphones. That is so loud. Like, the rusting is cool. Oh, no. Oh, God, make the sound stop. I understand what you're trying to do, but Jesus, I hate. That is the, okay, if I'm gonna hate anything from this film, it's the stupid rusting. Oh.
But I say this to our citizenry.
Hey, who is this guy? I mean, I know it's Scrimgeour, but no one else does. You have to go from context clues to be able to figure out that, hey, this is the new Minister of Magic that replaced Fudge. You don't know that because you didn't read the 6th book, and if you didn't read the 6th book, who the fuck is this guy? I will say, like, this whole beginning right here, it's all, as much as I would love, I know there's a deleted scene, but as much as I would love the line for Dudley to say to Harry that he's not a waste of space in the actual film, rather than just a deleted scene, I do enjoy the cutting together of the 3 of them at the beginning of this, showing, you know, Harry's trying to get the Dursleys to leave, and you have to physically, like, you actually have to watch Hermione see her parents forget her. Ugh, it is so heartbreaking. +1. Great job. There's one ding for the film that I actually love that's different. What the f am I looking at? What am I looking at? It is so dark. I mean, like, I know it's dark outside, but it is so dark. The oversaturation of these last few films is just so annoying. I cannot stand it. I ranted about it in the last one in Order of the Phoenix, or Half-Blood Prince. That one, in my opinion, is the worst one with, oh. We're not gonna rant about that film. We're not even gonna talk about that film. I don't like the oversaturation. I don't like the grittiness. I am so over that trend. I don't know why, but this thought just popped into my head. I'm a snake. I'm a slithery snake, a little slithery snake. I'm a snake. You know, I will say the one thing both of these movies do neglect. Well, actually, I think there's 2. All of the information about Dumbledore, I feel, I'll have to pay close attention, but I feel like it was always just brushed over, like it's mentioned, but there's no depth and detail into it. And it's the same with the Deathly Hallows themselves, which is what the book is about, is choosing Hallows versus Horcruxes and stuff, and it's not like there's actually a choice like there is in the book. There's this actual choice between Hallows and Horcruxes. Like, Harry has to choose. I don't know. I feel like they just put both of those in the simplest of terms, and it's not very well thought out. But that's just me. I could be completely wrong. If you think that it's better, let me know. I mean, I think it's been brushed over. But like I said, I'ma pay attention.
Bill Weasley.
Hey, look, it's Bill Weasley, a person we were supposed to have met 3 books ago, who doesn't look as mangled as he's supposed to be.
Whatever.
All of these characters, man. The books are they're filled with so many characters.
My husband, the
Husband?
Joker.
When the f*** did you get married? Because technically you weren't even supposed to be together in the last movie, but you were, but whatever. That's your development of your relationship. All of the secondary background characters are just... they deserve better. There's just so many characters in these movies, or in these books. I get it. I understand why, but there's just... they deserve better.
Mununga's pleasure, Mr. Potter.
Hey look, it's another character that was supposed to be introduced like two books ago. It's fine. With Mundungus, I actually don't mind it, because he really doesn't do much in the other 2 books, so that's okay. Bill, I'm still mad about, but Mundungus is fine. I always did really like this scene, like watching all of them turn into Dan. It's pretty cool. I always liked those. It's what happens after they turn into Dan that I don't like.
Wow, we're identical.
No, I ranted about this in the Chamber of Secrets video, so if you want to know what I said, you can go click right here. That's fine, I'll have to make sure that I time this, but you can click there. If they had just gone on the way that the Goblet of Fire went with the way that Moody was, it would have been fine. Dan could have said all of his lines, and it could have all been in his voice, and it would have been fine. You could just brush off the Chamber of Secrets as being, you know, because of kids. That's fine. That's okay. I'm just so tired of Polyjuice Potion, which one is used a lot in this, especially more so in the book than in this movie. But I'm just so tired of them doing it wrong every single time. You do not keep your own voice. That is what gives you away. So stupid. I hate it. It's so dumb. Nothing should go as planned, but whatever. And Harry letting Hedwig go? I like that better than in the book. Because in the book, she stays in her cage while they're doing all this. Why? She's a bird.
Let her fly.
Just be like, look, go to the burrow and I'll meet you there. Which, honestly, I think makes her death so much more heartbreaking in this film. Because she, instead of just being hit in the cage, she flies to save him. And see, it's not Hedwig who gives him away, which, like I said, I love that she dies like this. Like, that right there I find to be a more heroic death than her just dying in the cage, which I thought was stupid in the book to begin with. And I don't like that that's the reason of what gives him away. I actually really like the fact that he tried to use Expelliarmus on Stan, because that's pretty much been his trademark, which is what Lupin scolds him for later. What the other one thing that I don't like about this is Voldemort is flying, and I'll have to double check and make sure, because I feel like, I know they say something about it in the book, but I can't remember if they do in the film or not, because in the book, it's like a big deal that he's flying, but you've got all of the Death Eaters out there flying around and shit, and I'm like, no, that is not how this shit works. Voldemort is the only person who knows how to fly. I also think that this is really stupid, but I understand why they cut out Tonks' parents' place for them to get the port key to actually go to the burrow. I think it's dumb. Like, the Death Eaters are gonna know that that's where they're going. If they all just go in that one direction, it's really stupid, but...
What creature sat in the corner the first time Harry Potter visited my office in Hogwarts?
What you mad?
What creature?
Grindylow!
Are you sure? Because I don't remember seeing a Grindylow in the movie, in the third movie. I'll have to go back and double check, but I don't remember seeing it.
So I went back and had a look at this scene where Harry goes into Lupin's office, which is at the very end of the film. This is the first and only time he ever goes into that office. And I looked at the whole video and I took screenshots from around in different angles, and I swear there is no Grindylow whatsoever. So why even ask that question?
Instead of taking the line from the book, why didn't you just change it to be in continuity context for the films?
Mad Eye's dead.
Like, I know that in the book it happens off page, off screen, whatever, but I would have liked to have actually seen it. That would have been great. I feel like that's just it's like, you're telling me that this happened
off screen.
Like I said, in the book, that's how it happens as well, but I don't know. I feel like with something visual, they could have done something just a little bit more it's not as shocking. It would be more shocking if I knew it and then I had to wait for them to find out. Or for him to say it and then there'd be like a little bitty flashback sequence.
And when Dumbledore destroyed the ring, you destroyed Tom Riddle's diary. He must have felt something.
Nope, he can't feel it. Neither can Harry. I don't understand why that is a part of this films. I don't like it. My rant is in The Half-Blood Prince. I don't like that portion of these films. I can't stand it. And dear God, can we please hurry up and get through this scene before I vomit? We don't need to sexualize her. She's pretty enough. It's fine. I enjoy it in the book better. Like, she gives him a kiss for his birthday, and it's nice, and it's adorable. This scene right here
makes me want to gag.
The wedding is great. There's only one teeny tiny little problem with it. Why the is he using Polyjuice Potion to disguise himself? They have taken every precaution to protect him. Why couldn't he be like, oh yeah, I should probably be an Polyjuice Potion, that way nobody knows who I am. They've gone through all of this trouble to protect you. You're supposed to be a redhead unknown Weasley. Anything that has to do with logic is just completely cut out from this film. It's just so stupid. You're supposed to take every single precaution, and you know Mrs. Weasley would take every single
precaution
for Harry's safety, which would include taking Polyjuice Potion to be a random Weasley cousin. Creature has such a great arc, and he is done dirty in these films. These films do not do him justice! Justice for Creature! Now, I will say that I do enjoy this little snippet right here of the 1st of September, because you don't get that in the book. All you get is a bunch of Death Eaters showing up outside number 12 because they knew that he was there. They just couldn't see him because they kept saying Voldemort's name because they tabooed it and stuff, which you end up finding out later. Actually, I don't even think that it's like a big deal in this movie, which is ridiculous because it is a big deal that they don't say it. I like these intercuts like to the actual world around them. Whereas, since we don't just follow Harry most of the time, you get to see what things are happening for the school and how things are happening for the ministry. I like that.
Each employee will submit themselves for evaluation.
And I like how they do this subtle introduction of the Snatchers, because you don't learn about the Snatchers until Ron starts talking about them whenever he comes back from leaving the trio in the beginning. So you get this a little bit of explanation as to who the Snatchers are.
Harry Potter!
Hey look, it's Dobby! We forgot about him for 3 movies, so we've brought him back here just to kill him off. That is a disservice to the most loyal house elf ever. I hate it. I love Dobby, but I hate that they only brought him back because they have to kill him off. I'm like, that's stupid. You neglected to add him for 3 films, and now you only bring him back just so you can kill him. Dobby deserves better. Dobby is a free elf, and he deserves so much better. Honestly, they could have left him out of the 4th and the 5th one so long as they brought him back for the 6th, to be honest. When I'm thinking, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about it. Half-Blood Prince makes my blood boil, and there's just so much that they did wrong. They could have had Dobby in the 6th movie, and it could have built, it would have been him and Creature, it's just, Now, this takes like a hell of a lot more preparation than what they have, but again, it's a movie. I can understand why they have to cut a lot of that out. That's fine. That doesn't bother me. They did completely skip over the scene with Lupin where he comes in and he tries to abandon Tonks and his unborn child. It's a really good character moment, but we're not focused on character moments now. It's all about the action and like the plot, so...
How long did you say this batch of Polyjuice would last, Hermione?
An hour. That's how long it always lasts. Why are you asking? You know you have an hour. Does anybody else know the rules of Polyjuice Potion? I do. Do you? Because I do. I know.
God, I'm so tired.
This is the one thing I cannot stand about Harry being Runcorn. Why is he walking like that? Walk normal, like a person. Why are you that is what's going to give you away as being suspicious. You're over there like tiptoeing in your walk. Are you kidding me? The actor's doing a great job. It's so stupid. Whatever that directing choice was is so dumb. David Yates is dumb. Now, this whole scene plays out pretty well, like it always is. There's just one tiny thing that would have made the whole thing better. So whenever Harry's flipping through the files and he finds his own file, there's a sticky note stuck to his file by Dolores that says, "To be punished." And it's just so brilliant. It's all you had to do was just make sure that sticky note was right there and you got to read that sticky note. It's so good. I miss it. This all plays out differently, but this is fine. Because of this line, this whole section is fine.
You're lying, Dolores, and one mustn't tell lies.
I'm almost positive that that's not in the book, which is a shame. That is a very good callback. I will... props to them. The only other thing is the polyjuice potion doesn't start to wear off while they're there. The fact that the polyjuice potion is starting to wear off, it does begin to add to, like, the severity of the situation and, like, the tension and everything. But look how many people are around in this little rotunda room and that are walking around and that are standing around. You're not telling me that one of them knows who the Harry Potter looks like. Not one. Not a single one of them knows that that's Harry. Look at this! They're all just sitting there passing him and standing around. You're telling me that you don't know? It's been like a minute and a half. Nobody has recognized the fact that it's Harry.
It's Harry. Harry Potter.
Oh, the one guy is like, hey, look, that's Harry Potter. No shit. 50 people passed him and not a single one of them noticed or registered that it was Harry. It's so stupid. Like I said, logic in this movie went out the window. God, I thought I liked this movie.
Dumbledore sends you off to find all these Horcruxes, but doesn't tell you how to destroy them.
See, in the book, Hermione's a thief, alright? They make Hermione a thief. Jo makes Hermione a thief because she steals the Horcrux book from Dumbledore's office and it tells her, like, the ways in which that you can get rid of a Horcrux. So they know that information. They know how to get rid of it.
You know who has found Gregorovitch?
Why are you calling him you-know-who? Do we know that it's taboo? I may not have paid attention, but...
Take it off. I said take it off now.
Yeah, the necklace is the only Horcrux that Harry or anybody should be able to feel. Because they're wearing it and it's always, like, in contact with their skin, so they can actually feel the Horcrux in the book. They can actually feel it. He should not be able to feel the rest of them. That's not how it works.
Severus Snape, the newly appointed headmaster of Hogwarts.
See, this is the reason why I like the radio, because it gives you some information that you need that comes in the forms of different ways from in the book. Because, like, in the book, Lupin is the one who tells them about Snape because he brings them the Daily Prophet. Here you get the radio to tell you, so it's fine. I like the radio. I just wish there was Potter Watch. I'll never not wish that there was Potter Watch. I do like how it shows Ron feeling that Harry and Hermione are more of a couple than he realizes, even though he's completely wrong, and it's the Horcrux that's making him think all this stuff. It's really good. It's very subtle, but it's really good. Not gonna lie, I wish that there was more of a fight. Like, I would have loved for one of them to deck the other in the face. But that's my personal preference. Now, I want you to remember this shot right there, okay? Remember that shot, because I swear we go back to this place. And if I'm right, I'm gonna be pissed. Oh my god, I hate this scene! Oh, I hate this scene! I'm sorry. Like, this is just all that weird Hermione crap, and I'm not here for— you know what? Can I skip this scene? I'm gonna skip this scene. It's too damn long. It's literally 2 minutes of them dancing. Like, I like their friendship. I don't need to see them dance. So, I am going to skip all that and not waste 2 minutes of my life. Now, the biggest change with this whole thing, besides them not showing the war memorial as the statue of James, Lily, and baby Harry, the biggest thing is that neither one of them are under polyjuice potion.
This is where I was born. I'm not returning as someone else.
Harry gives that reason right there, that he doesn't want to return as anyone else. And I like that point. I like that he doesn't want to return to someone else. They could still use the cloak, but I do like that he didn't want to come back as someone else. I feel like that's a very Harry thing to do, which in the book, he goes under Polyjuice Potion, but I do feel like it's a very Harry thing for him to do. And I also like that he finds their graves first. Because in the book, Hermione finds them first, and I like that it's him. And I love how he just can't bring himself to say or do anything. He just stares at it. Because up to this point, you didn't know when they died. You didn't know that they died on Halloween. You don't even know when the books take place until the 7th book was published. You find out that it was written in the 90s, or that it takes place in the 90s, which makes sense because that's when she was writing them, but you don't know anything. It's really nice. I do wish that they had the little sign pop up where everyone had written on it, because like it tells like the story of what happened. It's like one of those museum type signs, but people had graffitied it and written on it and saying that they stood behind him and they hoped that wherever he was, that he was doing okay and all this stuff. And it's just I love this chapter. The Godric's Hollow chapter is one of, if not my favorite chapter out of the whole book. It would have to be Godric's Hollow and Bathilda Bagshot, because they're 2 chapters together. It's 2 separate chapters, isn't it? Godric's Hollow and Bathilda Bagshot. Yeah, they're 2 separate chapters. Both of those chapters put together are my favorite. Now, this may seem a bit scary for some people, but it's really a letdown compared to how it is in the book, when that snake erupts from her fucking neck. The thing just goes... It's like, I've never seen Alien, but I've seen that scene where John Hurt with the alien is like... That's what it is. It's like... You get the snake popping out of her neck. I wish it was in here. They did alright. It's fine. I get that they didn't need to do the ratings or whatever. It, I don't care. I'd much prefer that damn snake just... See, there are 2 things that I don't like about the rest of that scene, like the ending. Visually, it looks great. The 2 things is 1, Voldemort should have been there right at the end as soon as they jumped out of the window. He was on his way because he kept saying, keep him, keep him there, hold him there, da-da-da-da-da. Nagini was talking to Voldemort the entire time and being like, yo, dog, motherfucker here. And he's supposed to show up. And 2, I don't like that they put the story of James and Lily and like their last moments of how they died with Snape's memories in the second part of this, like part 2 of the films. Visually and creatively, I like that, but I also don't like it at the same time. You know what I mean? I don't like that it's there. Like, I know that they showed the original scene of what exactly happened in the first movie. You know, it's just a flashback. There's really no words to it. Like, I understand that they've already shown that in the first one, but they could have probably done it again and shown it more in a way that, you know how Loki goes through Valkyrie's memories to be able to see what exactly happened to the Valkyrie and, like, with Hela? I wish that it would have been something more like that. I don't know. I always thought that was the biggest disservice to this film was James and Lily's death scene.
Just think. Only 3 to go.
See, my only critique about that whole scene is that there needed to be a line, or like a shot where Harry said, hey, you know, I didn't know you felt that way. Just so we're clear, Hermione is like a sister to me. There's nothing has ever or will ever happen between us. She's like my sister. And I'm in love with yours. So, like, there needed to be some clarification. I don't like that there's not that clarification between the 2 of them. Because it's still kind of, like, up in the air then. I mean, like, you get how Hermione feels. And Harry's supposed to be in love with Ginny, but that relationship is not very convincing in these films. So, it kind of needed something else.
It's going to sound crazy. But I think that's why Dumbledore left it to me. The Deluminator. I think he knew that somehow I'd need it to find my way back, and she'd lead me.
See, I don't like how that is in this movie. I actually prefer the way that it is in the book, because he says, I think that's why Dumbledore gave it to me, because he knew I'd leave, and Harry goes, no, he knew that you would want to come back, and that's why he left it to him. So I think I like it better with Harry saying, no, he knew you better than you thought he did. You know, I don't know. I feel like it's like a better touch that way.
But what does it mean?
Look, you've got no idea where the next Horcrux is, and neither do I.
You don't know where it is. You don't even know what it is. There was no conversation in this film or even in the last film to dictate and tell you what the other Horcruxes could possibly be. You could probably figure out the snake. That one's pretty easy enough to figure out. But you have absolutely no idea that it could be the diadem or the cup. Because you don't get those stupid scenes. I'm so tired. And it's like, oh, well, Bellatrix was very upset that we had gotten into her vault. That means that there must be a Horcrux in there. Well, we go in there. Can you feel it? Do you feel the Horcrux, Harry? Can you feel it? No! You're not supposed to! You're supposed to know what it is! I hate it!
There were once 3 brothers who were traveling along a lonely, winding road at twilight.
I love this animation. It looks so good. I never knew exactly what they were going to do with this story, and I think they did fantastic by animating it.
Who took us up?
Voldemort.
See, like, at this point, you know for a fact that it's been tabooed, but I swear, unless if I missed it, I could have missed it, but I swear none of them say, hey, no, you can't say that because the word is the name is tabooed. Nobody. See, look, if you look at that scene right there, it is the exact same place that they were at earlier in the film, and that is so stupid. The thing is they would not be stupid enough to go back to the same place twice, but... And you know, in the book, this part is completely different. There's no chase scene. This is not how they get caught. The Snatchers just don't happen across them by coincidence. Harry accidentally says Voldemort's name, and that's how the Snatchers get them. After they visit Xenophilius Lovegood, there's this long discussion about Hallows versus Horcruxes and like which ones Harry should go after and which ones, like which Hallow each one of them would want to have. And, like, there's this long, big discussion. We've got, like, 30 minutes left, so gotta wrap it all up. Good lord, this shaky cam is bad. I can't see anything. Oof. This right here as well. It's a bit annoying. Because until the very end, Grindelwald would not give him up. And he dies, too. Voldemort actually kills him. And he refused to give up Dumbledore.
You're bleeding, Harry. It's a curious thing to keep in your sock.
Oh yeah, I forgot to completely mention at the beginning about the mirror. Where the f did Harry get the mirror from? If you didn't read the 5th book, you don't know. Because it's not in the movie. Nope. 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 Are you kidding me? He gave his right hand for the cause. Or he gave a hand for the cause. And that cause did not come back on him.
Are you kidding me?
Pettigrew was supposed to have given his hand to service for the Dark Lord. The Dark Lord, Voldemort gave him back a silver hand. Because he starts to kill Harry, but Harry says, remember, you owe me a debt. And Peter has this, like, lapse in judgment, and then the hand turns on him and starts choking him. Like, he kills himself, albeit accidentally, but the silver hand chokes him to death. It's so good. These films need different ratings because I need them to be correct. Why? Okay, I would put that down to the film and say that it's so stupid that he gets the Elder Wand by ripping out the wand out of Draco's hands. But that's how it happens in the book, so me, I guess.
Dobby is happy to be with his friend, Harry Potter.
It'll get me every time. I know I said that he just showed up in this movie just to die, but given the context of the books, oh, it'll get me every time. Honestly, that's where the film should have ended. It should have ended, like, credits should have rolled right there. I didn't need to know that Voldemort got the wand at the end of the movie. That could have been left to the next one. I didn't need this scene. That is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1. I think I'll stand by what I said at the beginning. When I dislike a scene, I really just dislike it. But it doesn't really take away from the whole of the film. So, yeah. I mean, I think this film is still my third favorite. It's still watchable. There are parts that make me groan because I think it's stupid, but I don't know. No, I don't think I ever flip-flop. I always think that I enjoy part 1 better than part 2. And that right there has everything to do with the fact that the Battle of Hogwarts is not the way that it is in the book. And that's my own fault. That's personal preference, honestly. I think it's done better in the book. I actually enjoy it in the book. I love everything about the second half in the book. So if I was to choose between, I'd probably watch the movie of the first half of the book and then read the second half of the book and just ignore the movie if I had to choose between the two. But I honestly think that the first film for this book is a pretty decent adaptation. When I think about it, I don't think I really talked that much because the thing is going. I know this has taken forever to come out, but even before then, I never really had that much to say about this film in particular. I don't know if that's because it's just forgettable. Maybe that may be what it is. I don't know. It could be forgettable. I always liked it, but it's just pretty easy. It's one to sit and you can just watch. It's fine. Adaptation wise, the things that I don't like, I'm gonna give it like a 6.5, 7. Not entirely sure where everything else fits at. I don't remember. That tells you how long it's been since I looked at any of this stuff. I gave Prisoner of Azkaban a 7, Order of the Phoenix a 7. Order of the Phoenix is definitely below Prisoner of Azkaban. I think I don't want to say because of the slow pacing that's why it deserves to be below Order of the Phoenix, because it's not. I mean, it's half of a book. So it's very difficult to judge this film when you don't have the end of the conflict, you know? Adaptation-wise, I think I will give it a 7, but I will put it under Order of the Phoenix. Oh, God, I don't know. It's a pretty good adaptation. I always thought that this one was a relatively good adaptation for the first half of the book. Like I said, obviously things are cut out, but it shaved down really well, in my opinion. I could be completely wrong. There are things that they left out that I'm mad about, so obviously it would never get a 10. It's definitely not going to get a 9. It would fluctuate between it's around a 7. I want to give it a solid 7. I don't know how exactly and where I want to fit it, so I'm just going to put it in post. So I will give a couple of days to deliberate, and I will let you know where exactly I'm going to give it, but I am going to give it a 7 out of 10. I just don't know where I'm going to put it at on the list. Editing links here, so I've given it a bit of a thought, and I honestly think that Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 is a 7, but that it belongs underneath Order of the Phoenix. It's very hard because I feel like they're both tied, because Order of the Phoenix is a whole film adapted from the entire book, whereas Part 1 is only adapted from half of the book, and from the half that they do a really good job, which is why I'm giving it a 7. But it's so hard, so I may just say that they're tied, but I'm gonna put it under Order of the Phoenix, so there you have it. Next week, we will be back with Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, the final climactic version of the other half of this book that I don't really care for that much. It's definitely above Half-Blood Prince, that's for sure. At least it's enjoyable. There's a lot of crap in there that I don't like. So, until next week then. Bye-bye!